Hey friends, Mark Holmes here with my buddy Cowboy Jobu, and as always, thank you guys for watching, commenting, and subscribing to the Jobu Sports Report. Without you guys, this literally does not work. Let's get open for business. You know what? I got to tell you, I am refreshed, renewed, and I am ready to rock and roll. You know what? I am sick and tired of this woe is me, my Cowboys suck mentality out there. Our quarterback stinks. We're doomed. We got to draft a guy in the first round. Our coaches suck. You know what? Man, suck that stuff up, man. Get away with all that negativity, man. Don't bring that crap around me. Okay? You know, I got to be honest with you. I have heard so much stuff repeated over and over again that I am beginning to believe it. Because what happens is when you hear something enough times, you start to believe it. I got away from what I enjoy doing, and that is putting out there the stats, the numbers, and things like that, and letting you make your own decision. But you guys have beaten me down so much that you got me talking about how bad my quarterback is. And when I go through and try and defend and say, listen, it's more than just the quarterback. The offensive line is hurt. The wide receivers aren't there. There's not a go-to guy, a security blanket. The play calling is antiquated. You guys say, no, Dak just sucks. And I realized after getting an email, and I want to thank you guys because more times than not, you guys give me inspiration, give me ideas, and make me think differently than what I may have thought or refocus me. And Team G, Dallas Cowboys for Life, sent me an email earlier this evening, and I was just seeing it when I was going upstairs to take a shower. And it brought me back to reality and remembering what I have seen with my own eyes. Not going with the mob mentality that a lot of you go. Because, see, there's the 80% out there that no matter what you see is going to say it's awful. Because you're probably the same guys that said that Tony Romo sucks, he's a bum, get him out of here, we'll never do jack with him. You are the 80% that no matter what the hell happens, aren't going to be satisfied. We can win a game 30-3 and you'll say we gave up 3 points. Why didn't we score 40? That you'll never be satisfied. So I'm not going to try to satisfy you anymore. But this was a great email from him, and let me read it to you. I had an hour-long discussion with my coworker about our Cowboys. Been there. He and I agree on some things. Dak. Hold it. He and I agree on some Dak things, but he completely shut down when I said the coaching hasn't helped. He blamed Dak solely on losing. He actually went as far to say Bridgewater, RG3, and Winston could run this offense. Wait. RG3, you mean who's a backup who really probably will never play and start another game in his career? Jameis Winston, Mr. Let me grab the Uber driver, been suspended, and 1 week he's starting, the next week he's not because he sucks. Jameis Winston, who's never won anything. I told him he must be smoking if he thinks that any of those quarterbacks can come into this system and win right now with the coaching and team the way it is. I admit that Dak has his faults, but until you show me a Dak-friendly coach, offensive coordinator, and quarterback coach, there is no quarterback winning with this team. We're not going to see eye to eye on everything until something changes for this team, and that's what hurts as a fan. Thanks for listening and sharing the real fans' frustration. Keep up the great work. Thank you very much, Derek. I really appreciate that. But that's the mentality of some of you guys. I'm not saying Dak is playing flawless because he's not. You can't have turnovers and things like that. I'm not saying he's not missing wide receivers. But to put it squarely on it's just the quarterback, because the job of the coach is to put the players in positions to succeed. And this coaching staff stinks. The offense stinks. The play calling stinks. The managing of the team and the clock stinks. I know. Derek and I are just Joe the fan. We don't know Jack. But you know what? You know somebody who does? I'll take two-time Super Bowl winning quarterback Roger Staubach's word for it. Let's go to Roger on this. On Jason Garrett and Dak Prescott. Well, at this age, I think Dak is still the leader. He's not blaming anybody else. He's got those great qualities of a leader in getting things done on the field. I think we've got to see more. He's getting a little bit of help. He's getting a little bit of help with the new receiver, Amari Cooper, but offensive line has really been the problem and has slowed down Zeke Elliott. He's a great running back, and we're not getting the running game like we should. So it's a combination of things there on offense, especially the offensive line. They lost Travis Frederick. We won't worry about the defense, what he says. Still believe they have to read the Eagles to give us any hope, blah, blah, blah. But right now, I'm really disappointed in the season. I don't know what's going on the coaching side. This is not me talking. This is Hall of Fame quarterback Roger Staubach. Troy Aikman mentioned there should be some kind of an overhaul. He's more involved in it than, and he knows what's going on there. I'm a big fan of Troy's, and he's a big Cowboy fan. So I don't know what could change in the locker room and how the things are being handled there. I'm a fan of watching the game, but I do see, especially on the offensive side, the offensive line is not getting enough credit for what it does to have a great offense, and they are a factor when you don't have a great offense also. And I think the injuries have had an effect on that offensive line. How long before we should judge Dak Prescott? It is, and you can see the abilities that Dak has. He has shown that. I think he's a good leader because there's other issues. The quarterback definitely gets way more credit than they deserve when you're winning, and they get the brunt of it when you're losing. That's just the way it is. I felt the same way. I took the brunt of our problems. When we were winning, you get too much credit as a quarterback. I think Dak is not the problem on offense. I think he's part of it, but I really feel he can continue to be the quarterback that if you look at the plus things, I think they outweighs the difficulties at this stage. I'm not going in a great direction right now. I think he can turn around. On the scheme, and if Prescott fits the game, that's a great question because I'd like to know the scheme. We'd all like to know the scheme because it doesn't look like any kind of philosophy. We're built as a running team, but yet you don't let your franchise running back run the last 20 minutes of the game. You got a quarterback that's great outside and play action, but you don't do play action or get him outside. I'd like to know the scheme as well. The strengths that he has, and I'm only privy to watching the game because I really enjoy watching the Cowboys, and I'm disappointed when they're not winning. But if you're not out there at practice and watching, you really don't know where the real problems are on the team. I don't believe it's Dak. That's Roger Staubach, not me. That's Roger Staubach. I think there's other issues that are preventing this team to being a better football team than they are. On Garrett and Scott Linehan's are behind the times. I'm not sure about the creativity. It seems like they could be better on offense. When you go back, Coach Landry was really at the forefront of a lot of things that took place in the offensive side of football. The motions, the slot backs that they had now in the slot. He was had this great receiver in Preston Pearson. He had a running back, and he became a receiver in the slot. He put up the shotgun at 75. Coaches are really, from an offensive standpoint, are way ahead of the game. And that's what he was trying to understand when the defenses was trying to do. So what he's saying is Tom Landry was trying new things. He came out with the shotgun. Nobody was doing shotgun. Nobody was really doing passing the way they did. You had a great running back, Preston Pearson, but you made him a wide receiver. He was doing these things to get a leg up on the competition. We have the polar opposite with Jason Garrett. We're doing the stuff that we did 25 years ago. There's nothing new out there with the Cowboys offense. The defense, they would look at your formation and say, back in the old days, hey, if they're in this formation, they're going to run this play. So Coach Landry would put in motions and shifts and things to confuse the defenses. You need creativity. I think Dallas has sometimes been in with the personnel you have. You can't just run trick plays on certain things. I wish I could sit with some of the team meetings and just understand this better. I wish you could too. Roger, I wish you could be the offensive coordinator. I would love it if you were sitting in there. But basically, he's saying it's not the quarterback. He's got problems, but it's the system, not me, Roger Staubach. And I've gone through and I've gotten to the point where I've heard you guys so long, you guys have gotten me thinking, yeah, well, Dak just sucks. We need somebody else. What the no. You've seen Jason Garrett and Scott Linehan ruin quarterbacks. They got Tony Romo the crap beat out of him because it was Tony Romo or nothing. You haven't seen him develop a single quarterback. So what makes you think that RG3, Jameis Winston, or Teddy Bridgewater coming in here is all of a sudden going to be successful with this garbage-ass thing? And take a look at Jason Garrett's record without Tony Romo and Dak Prescott. 4 and 15, excuse me, 4 and 12. 4 and 12. One game without Tony Romo in 2015. At some point, you got to understand that if you got crap for coaches, your players aren't going to succeed. And if you don't believe me, fine. Feel free to walk your happy 80% crowd elsewhere. But I'm going to tell you like it is. And until we get rid of this average-ass coaching staff, you're going to get the same results. I don't care if you bring in RG3. I don't care if you bring in Teddy Bridgewater. I don't care if you trade up and get a number 1 draft pick. There'll be a Cleveland quarterback here. There'll be a bust until you have somebody who knows what the hell they're doing. Now, I'm getting ready for this game. I got 15 pounds of chicken wings I'm cooking for tomorrow. I got up here, got a slice, 5 pounds of steak for steak and cheese subs. And I've got a chuck roast I'm going to get going slow cooking tonight for some chili. Now, I don't know about all you other fans out there that have given up on the Dallas Cowboys and have said, I'm done, I'm finished. Go right ahead. I'm going to enjoy my football Sunday. And as always, friends, I want to thank you all for watching, commenting, and subscribing to the Jobu Sports Report, where we're going to be keeping it real, and we're not taking no more crap from anybody. I'll see you soon.